without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks you slept through. Time's up.
I'm gonna keep on making these videos until I feel a lot more comfortable to speak openly and fluent, not only about myself, but as well as currently the work that I've been doing has been bringing awareness to that layer underneath our conscious decisions. I guess you know, facade seems like a really harsh word, but these characters that we build in real life, and paying attention to some of the decisions or the emotions, the feelings, and the fears, traumas that are underneath that conscious, call it the subconscious, or I guess it would be called as the subconscious. And to start, I mean, I would like to say there's things in there that I would like to shift and to change if need be, or as I have more awareness. But right now I'm just really focusing on the meditation, or the living meditation part of it, or I'm calling it the living meditation part of it, which is just actively just being aware throughout the day. So in the morning time, first thing when I get up, I'm very trained on just being aware of how I felt. Normally I'm coming off a dream or something like that. I have a tendency through a lot of my life to have stressful dreams, which I feel like there's something in that. And before I go to bed at night, I'm at the very least aware of how I'm feeling, and I work on changing my state, or at least getting myself back into a state that serves me, or that's just in line with who I want to be as a person, if that makes sense. And so right now, the practice that I've at least been doing for myself is just I don't have any alarms, I don't have any times on it. I'm just practicing on throughout the day, just bringing myself back to that place. At home, it's normally a little bit easier. It's normally once I step outside of the house, and I'm running errands, or I'm at work, or I'm just out with friends or doing things, where even more so, especially if I'm having a really good time, where I'm just in the zone. Right? When there's nothing wrong with that, but I just want to be a lot more, be able to practice I'm just doing the exercise of bringing it back to where I can be aware of just being present. A present and intentional, or at least being aware of the subconscious to see what the underlying motive is. And not that there's anything wrong with it, and not that I'm unhappy with anything that I'm doing, or there's things that I would like to shift or evolve, but I just, at this point, the goal is to just work on being aware of it and seeing what I get out of that. And when things maybe aren't going my way, or maybe I don't feel too great, or maybe I'm having one of those what you call bad days, or just days where things are just bothering you or triggering you, or you just prefer, those are the times when getting back to that state of being aware is pretty easy, because being triggered or being upset, usually it's kind of sending this message to my brain, and then just because of the way my brain has been trained to work, is that I'm normally just looking for, what's the good in this, right? I'm normally just shifting towards, there's good that's going to come out of it, or this is not always going to be, or making light of the situation, looking at the positive. And some of that is, I think that's served me really well. I'm not sure how much of that, where I'm maybe avoiding having to deal with some pain, or avoiding having to deal with something that's difficult. I think that that are also dealing with hard things can be very helpful. And I think maybe like a metaphor to that would be if I'm running and I'm just, my body's shot or I'm tired or I'm beat up, bringing myself back to the present moment, literally down to every step, and looking at every step as saying, this step I'm gonna push, make sure that, you know, I'm in a full motion, and concentrate on every single step as being an opportunity to get a little bit better. The pain of it, I don't know that it goes away, but it gets a lot more comfortable and it eases and becomes a part of it. And I'm almost shifting the way I feel into being more comfortable being uncomfortable. And in physical things, I do a pretty good job of that. I feel like I have a high tolerance for pain. But as I'm saying that out loud, I'm also thinking, you know, I'm sure mentally I've probably also done the same thing. So I don't know. So at this point, just being aware and doing that daily practice of being aware. And I'd say yesterday, maybe 3 times outside of waking up and before I'm going to bed, maybe 3 times. And what I find that is being in that state of just being present and being aware and just realizing it reminds me of just how grateful I am, and slowing down to just look at, you know, outside this window, there's a bush and it just always has a bunch of birds. And so they're always making sounds, chirping, flying, landing, you know, doing things with each other. And there's a couple of other plants where the bushes are moving, and just even watching that, just it becomes interesting. And just stopping, slow down, and just really enjoying that moment and taking it in. And I don't want to get too woo-woo, but that is also just the thing that also just, it starts to strip away that daily angst of feeling that I need to be doing something more than what I am doing now to be able to get something that I do not have, in order that I can be a better version of me, because my happiness therefore lies in some other place other than right now. And the beautiful thing about coming back to just being present and being aware of that underlying feeling, it's not because I think so much of the time I'm just driven to chase after something. And so even doing this is just not the feeling is, it's hard to describe, but it's not like a feeling that I've been chasing. Like we say, like peace and love and happiness and stillness and calm, like we say all those things as we're running around as being things that we want or we're working towards or that we are or whatever, but that place of just being present, I don't have any description for that yet. Other than I'll say I like it. I like it. So yeah, that's it. I just want to get on here and just talk about that. And if anybody else is also currently going through any form of subconscious work or shadow work or just doing similar exercises, I'd be really curious to understand what your approach is, what you're getting out of it, and any other comments or anything that you want to add or comment. So drop a comment down in the comments, and thank you for being here. And until next time, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you later. Peace.